Hello and welcome back. This is Madan. In this demo, we are going to create a generic repository for our MVC application. And where and when do we need a generic repository? In most of the cases, whenever we create the models for our application, we create the repositories for them. And in most of the cases, for every single model, we need to perform the CRUD operation for them. So and the code to perform the CRUD operations for every model is almost similar. So what generic repository does is it generalizes the code to perform CRUD operations in models, and it greatly helps to increase our development times and reduces the code duplication. So let's jump into the code. Here I have scaffolded the basic MVC template, and I'm going to create a folder here, naming this as generic repository. Generic repository or a generic repository. And we're gonna need to create one interface here and one class that implement the interface. So let's create a file called repository.cs, and I'm going to copy this name here, generic repository. Let's create a class namespace, and the namespace is generic repo demo, and it is inside the generic repository folder. And let's create a interface, public interface, our generic repository. And this is a generic repository, so it takes a generic parameter t, where t is a class. So during runtime, the t could be any of our models. So it could be, if we have a student model or the teacher model, then t would be the student or teacher. So let's define the common methods that we need in our generic repository. So uh, let's create a void create method that is going to create the record in our database, and it takes the parameter of object of the class, so model. And let's create another method called void update, and normally we pass the actual object to update. And let's create another method called void remove, and we pass object. And let's say we're gonna need to retrieve all the records from the database, so we create another method, say list of t find all, and we don't need any parameter for this. And we need to print the namespace for this list class. And let's say we're gonna retrieve the data by passing the specific query here. So let's define the method called list of t find by, and we are going to pass the lambda expression here. And in order to pass the lambda expression, we need to create the parameter of the type here, expression of func of t and bool. What this does is, actually we can pass the lambda expression for the specific model by using this data type. So let's name this as a predicate, predicate predicate, and we need to bring some namespaces here. And let's write another method to retrieve the single record, find essentially single. And we may pass the lambda expression here as well, expression of func t and bool, and let's name this as a predicate. So here is our generic interface that is applicable, that we could use for every single repositories. So let's save this, and now I'm going to create another class called generic repository, generic repository.cs. Let's give it a namespace of generic repository demo dot generic repository. And let's create a class, public class generic repository. And we are going to, this is a generic repository, this class is generic, so it also takes t as a parameter, t, where t is class. And this class inherits from our generic repository repository of t. And let's implement the interface here, implement the interface. And now we are going to create the constructor here so that we can inject the application DB context to interact with the database. And let's inject that application DB context of txt context, and let's bring in the namespace for our application DB context. And I'm going to create the private field here, and let's change this to underscore and underscore. Now to perform the CRUD operation, what we do is we use the context dot, and here we have a set generic method that takes the generic parameter, and what we need to pass is we need to pass t, and then we do add and pass our actual object here, and then we do context dot set changes, and during runtime this set of t is replaced by our model. Let's say if we have a model of a model called student, then it will be context dot student dot add, and we pass student object here. So in this way this method will work for every model in our application. So in order to find all, what we do is we just return context dot set of t dot, let's do to list, and let's bring the namespace system.collection.generic, and let's return the record based on our predicate here. So context dot we have a model set of t dot where, and we pass the predicate and convert that to list. And in order to find the single record, we do context dot set of t dot first default, and we pass our lambda expression here, PRED is predicate. And in order to remove the record, what we do is context dot set of t dot, we use the remove method and pass our actual object, and we do context dot set changes. After then we have a one remaining method here, and to update the record we do context dot set of t dot update, and then we pass our actual model, and then we do context dot save changes. So now we have created the generic repository which implements the iGeneric repository interface, and we have defined the common methods that we normally need to create in our repository for every single model. So in another video we will continue creating and implementing our generic repository for by creating few models. So this is it for this video, and thanks for watching and have a good day.